Illuvium Airdrop Season 2 has just begun and it is completely different to Season 1. Not only has the strategy completely changed, and we'll get through to that at the end of this video, but there are so many new features in the game that we need to utilize to maximize our points on the airdrop. For anyone who doesn't know, 10,000 ILVs up for grabs, which is equal to something like $6 million. And there is a lot up for grabs for the top performers. Those in Season 1 of the airdrop earned thousands and thousands of USD if they played really, really well. And you can do the same in Season 2, half as much, because there was 20,000 in Season 1, half as much, but you can accomplish that. The first thing we need to cover is some of the housekeeping around this new update. Firstly, missions can take up to 1 hour to load for first time or new users. And once a mission is complete, allow up to 5 minutes for it to reflect in the dashboard. So keeping that in mind, that it can take a little while for all this stuff to appear in the dashboard. But what are missions? We're going to talk about them at length first, and then go into my foolproof strategy. And at the end, I'm also going to give you a tool that will help you track your progress. So first up, as we jump into the game, we can see the forge is completely different. Now, what's important here is actually the armaments and equipment, okay? And the equipment includes suits as well. But if we look at the armaments, we've got stock air dagger here, and you can actually go to one of the items you need for that. You can left click it and click forge and acquire that. And that's a really important flow that you really need to understand in the forge, because we're going to be using that a lot later. The other thing we need to talk about is the mission. So if you hit I on your keyboard to go into your inventory and all the rest of it, and then you go into missions, which is J on the keyboard, you can see all of your different missions right here. You can click on any of them and hit the X key to pin it. To capture a tier 0 alluvial is one of mine for 50 points. I definitely recommend focusing on the weekly missions, as the daily missions don't give you a whole lot of points. But if you get something like this, capture a tier 5 alluvial for 2,000 points, that is very good. Any of these missions, especially in daily, above like the 500 point threshold, you are going to want to do them, but really be focusing on the weekly missions and trying to get them all. Well, this one's quite challenging. Captures 60 Tabia Morphopods, which takes a lot of play time, and the points just aren't that good. But extract 36 Celestium, you should definitely be doing that anyway, so keeping them in mind. And when you click them and hit X to pin, they will actually show up in the top right-hand corner of your game, and the progress will track as you do the different things in the game. So this is very helpful. I know a lot of people are probably just pinning the entire thing. I would pin what's most important or what's most relevant, but you can pin the entire thing. It doesn't really matter. And so after that, let's jump into the next step here, and that is the Illuvidex. When you jump into the Illuvidex and you're on the marketplace, this is what you might see. And if you're on the fuel exchange, it doesn't matter. You click your profile in the top right-hand corner here. Just click that bad boy and you click profile. And from here, you will be able to see all the missions, just that second tab right there. Just like Illuvium, there is another AAA game building that has me extremely excited, and up until this point, they've been building in stealth. Open is a multi-mode battle royale game coming to the PC and current generation consoles in partnership with the author of Ready Player One. It will feature IPs like the DeLorean and Reebok, with many more IPs to be confirmed in the future, and there are lots of items to collect and battles to be fought in the game. I personally love battle royales, and it is one of my favorite genres, and I cannot wait until this game comes out. Make sure to follow their X profile and watch them like a hawk. I assure you, you won't regret it. You click that and now you can see all of your missions, and here's the killer. You've got missions for everything. You've got missions for Arena, Overworld, Zero, okay? Now we won't worry about Zero for now. I have no idea when that's coming out, but when it does, I do recommend going for these. I'm sure the missions are quite good. First things first for the strategy, okay? Capture a holo from every single tier. Highly recommend trying to do this one, but you have like a week to do so. All right, it might actually be over by the time this video is out, so don't worry about that one for now. It's not that bad. So, but the other thing is your arena dailies are usually pretty easy. Play 2 Ascendant games in ranked mode. I recommend doing that one because that's going to give you 500 points very, very easy. You need to think about points value to time taken. An Ascendant arena match takes about 15 minutes, and so you can definitely do that. Play 1 survival game in training mode. I don't know where the cutoff for that is, but I would get to wave 10 for those sorts of missions. And you need to reach wave 10 in survival training mode anyway. So definitely get those 2 missions out of the way every single day. They're going to be quite similar. And then as we jump into the overworld, we just saw them inside the game. You don't even need to navigate here for the overworld. But here is the largest part of this entire thing, and that is the milestones. These are going to give you crazy points. This win 5,000 Ascendant matches is 1 million points. Obviously, you're never going to be able to achieve that, but we're going to focus on the overworld missions when it comes to the milestones. And you can see them all here. They will actually appear with a little tick instead of these 3 lines when you've completed one of these missions, and the points on the right will turn green as well. But here you can see some examples of huge points. If you capture every single tier 0 stage 3 alluvial, you get 150,000 points. I do not recommend that. And my tool I'm about to give you will actually give you a really good breakdown of what are the best things to hunt for. But here's the kicker. I wouldn't be going for alluvials basically at all. I would get all tier 1 alluvials, tier 2 and tier 3 probably, or maybe not tier 2. Not tier 2 stage 3 anyways. And I would definitely be going for a lot of tier 4s. If you find tier 5s, still capture them, go for the stage 1 tier 5s. But here's the crazy part, is the weapons and suits. I would be going for this forge all suits and all weapons, which are both giving 300,000 points. You want to have them done as a minimum before the airdrop season ends. And the other thing is the tier 0 stage 1, 2, and 3 suits. They're going to be quite difficult. We're going to ignore them for the most part. It's everything else. You can see the Forge Tier 1 Stage 2 suits, which is about 18,000 points, for example. Now, you might ask me, how many suits are there that I would have to collect to get these 18,000 points? 3. There are 3 suits, okay? 18,000 points. If we scroll up to alluvials and we can see 30,000 points for all Tier 2 Stage 2 alluvials, there's like 7 of them and they're really hard to find. Mining a bunch of ores and turning them into suits and weapons is not hard at all, and that's where we get to my tool. I've built a little tool here that is going to be in the description and in the Wildfire, actually it's just going to be in the Wildfire Discord. Go in there to grab it, join our community, we love it. If you want to become a member, we'll have even more exclusive benefits and other spreadsheets as well. But as we can see here for tier 0 stage 1, I put the little indicator there for you. There's 2 out of 25 of them for a possible 15,000 points, and you can make your own judgment of this. For example, 2 out of there's 12 tier 1 alluvials, possible points 36,000. So 36,000 divided by 12 is like 3,000 points per alluvial. But if we go down to the suit section right at the bottom, you can see that the tier 0 stage 1 suits are 7,500 points each. 7,500 points. And so that's about 3,200 per thing. Easy to obtain. Worth more points per item you craft, and then you can upgrade those items into the next ones and keep steamrolling all of the different things you need to get. Obviously, the tier 0 weapons are definitely not worth it. There's 25 of them. Glad you have this tool, aren't you? All right. And so the other ones are like 2,000 for each of the tier 1 suits. There's like 4,000. My maths is dying. 4,000 points for each of the tier 2 suits. Suits, weapons, and all the rest of it. As you get down to the end there, you've got for the tier 5 stage 3 suits, they are worth an insane amount of points. You know how long it would take you to find an Ophisto in the overworld for less points, right? Like each Ophisto is worth 100,000 points, and each of these suits is worth just under that. It's worth 90,000 points. And so you can easily achieve that, or I mean, it's not that easy, but it's achievable, and you don't have to rely on pure luck to do so. Mining a bunch of ores is a lot less lucky than that. So the other thing is when you get into the game, go to the drone equipment section, craft the drone equipment, and what you'll find is you can find the ones that duplicate ores, get as many of them as you can, stack them onto your character. They're going to help you so much with phase 2 of this airdrop. The last thing here is how to use this. Now, it's going to look a little bit different when you get it. I have a few more updates to make, but basically, put your wallet in at the top here, hit the refresh button. It's going to ask you to verify a bunch of scripts and things. Just hit advanced, hit OK, submit it. You might need to hit refresh more than once. But once it runs script and then finishes script like this, it should update everything automatically. What this is doing on the blockchain now, this might not actually line up with the missions perfectly. I do need to warn you about that because the missions is using their APIs. I'm using on-chain data. Mine should actually be more accurate than the missions, but the missions are what matters for the point. So make sure you're double checking every week or whatever and making sure it's all lining up. Otherwise, you might need to change some of the numbers manually. Anyways, what my script is essentially doing is it's looking for all of the mints that have happened from your account. It's looking at what you've minted. So if you've caught an ape on, you would have minted it. And then it's cross-referencing that and just throwing it in the chart here. And if it's a 1, it'll turn green because that's all you need to capture. And if it's a 0, it'll stay red because you need to capture at least one of them to try and get some of these things. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something about the Illuvium Airdrop Season 2. I'm very excited. I'm actually going to go pretty decent for this one. Try and play an hour or 2 every single night. I hope you guys do the same. This is a huge opportunity, and please don't forget to register using my link down below. And if you want more information and other spreadsheets, I do have a Substack where I post monthly newsletter articles. I really appreciate if you go down there in the description and subscribe for free. Register your email and you'll get the latest updates. Have a good one, guys.